Martin Luther King Jr. was an American clergyman, activist, and proponent leader in the African American Civil Rights Movement, and one of the most educated African Americans of his time. In 1954, Martin Luther King Jr. became the pastor of the Dexter Avenue Baptist Church in Montgomery, Alabama, where he preached equal rights for blacks and all Americans. In 1957, Martin Luther King Jr. was elected president of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, an organization formed to provide new leadership for the now bulging civil rights movement. Martin Luther King was a strong worker for civil rights and for members of his race, and would fight for what he believed in no matter what the consequences may have been. Martin Luther King was an executive member of the NAACP, which was one of the leading black rights groups at the time. This is where Martin Luther King had the biggest impact on the United States.
December 1955, King was the leader that sparked the first great African-American nonviolent demonstration of contemporary times in the United States. This was the bus boycott that lasted 382 days. King was arrested, verbally threatened, his home was bombed, was subjected to personal abuse, but at the same time he kept strong, fighting for what he believed in. Early evening on April 4th, a single shot rang out and killed Martin Luther King on his balcony of the Lorraine Motel in Memphis, Tennessee. The world could not believe the tragic death of Martin Luther King. Riots then began in the streets all over the United States, fighting over Martin Luther's death. January 17th is now known as Martin Luther King Day because of the things he did for civil rights and the rights for African Americans throughout the United States. Martin changed the way that African Americans were viewed as. Martin Luther King Jr. was and is still known as one of the most influential people in United States history. It was a tragic loss, but the valuable things he taught us will always be remembered.